customers. Not knowing who is my customer. Not understanding the customer. Interesting. And both should win. But what happens? Both should win, yes, but what happens because of which the deal is not closing? We can't convince the client, I am not winning. Both should win, but somehow I am not winning. The client is winning, and I can't let that happen. Client can't win, I have to win. After all, I've done a business, I need money, come on. All right, what else? I'm not able to convince. I don't like this word convince. Anything other than that we can use? The word convince. Why do you think I don't like this word convince? And this is where the problem is. The minute we get into convincing a client is when they start running away from us. Any guesses why? If I try to convince you, buy my product, I'm the best in the market, what happens to you psychologically? Huh? Won't get repeated. Next time you will not, because I might have forced you to buy this from me, all right? What else? If I am convincing you, what happens to you psychologically? Please understand this question, because he said that we are not understanding our customers. So tell me, what happens to the customer psychologically if I'm trying to convince? Huh? Manipulated? And manipulation is not allowed in sales. They will feel like it, all right. What else? Huh? They will always be skeptical. They will be doubtful that, did I really need this? Was this something which was actually would have given me the value that they promised? So they will always be doubtful. Correct. And that's what happens in convincing. If you are required to convince about your product, and if you feel anywhere during your conversation that, oh, I think I'm getting into, now this conversation is getting into me more trying to convince the other party, take a pause. Take a pause, because that means somewhere during the conversation, you have not understood the need of the customer. You didn't understand. What is it that the customer is looking for? And that's the reason why you are having to now convince the person. Because the equation is very simple. I am thirsty, I need water, you have water, I will take it. Yes or no? The equation is very simple. Now, beyond need, there is a want also. I am thirsty, I need water. You have water, but I want Bisleri. Now the question is, am I selling Bisleri? Because the customer is saying, I want Bisleri. No, I have Aquafina. No, I don't like Aquafina. I want Bisleri. Now this is where again the deal is not closing, because I'm trying to figure out the need, but I haven't really diagnosed deep to understand the want also of the customer. So these two concepts always keep in mind when you're trying to approach a customer. Should know about the need, and you must know about the want as well. So why deals don't happen is because many people feel that it is because of the price. I always say that price is a disguised objection. It's really not the real objection or the real problem that a customer has. They die because of uncertainty. When the buyers are unclear about these three things, number one is the outcome. What is the benefit of this? And when we're talking about the benefit, these days, the buyers have become very smart. And by the time they come to you, know that they already know a lot about your product. They're already aware. So now when they are looking at and looking at you for benefits, they're not expecting you to be giving them the benefits of the features that your products have. They're looking at you going beyond the benefits of the features. And that's where value selling comes into the picture. I want to see how your product or service can add value to my life. To my life, not only just to my business. And that is where the unique value proposition comes into the picture. Most of the business owners, most of the founders, when they create a value proposition, and hand on your heart, agree to it if you also have done that, you would have created a customer segment. For these customer segments, these are their pain areas, and for these pain areas, this is how we are solving those pain areas, which is in the form of the product feature that we have included. And so, this is the value proposition. We help solve X, Y, Z, or we help save cost, or we help to make you this much of profits, or very simple. I have a product, I have the features, and I'm just converting that into the benefits. But that is not a value proposition. Value proposition is beyond that. It's where the buyers are able to connect with you emotionally. And that is when, so Starbucks is not selling features of the coffee, but you still enter a Starbucks. Let me ask you a simple question. You have, and by no means I am undermining any of these brands. I am not a Starbucks fan, but still will use a Starbucks example. Say we have a coffee day or a barista as one of the coffee shops, and we have Starbucks as one of the coffee shops, both selling coffee. Where is the difference? Why does a Starbucks customer prefer to enter a Starbucks and drink a coffee worth 400 rupees, where coffee day probably would be a little cheaper? Coffee is coffee, unless it's filter coffee. So, for a latte or a cappuccino or whatever, this shot, that shot, I don't know, but why would anyone here who's gone to a Starbucks, I'm not saying are a Starbucks person, but has gone to Starbucks? Wow, great, yeah. You guys know then. Why, what do you think about why people go to Starbucks? You may or may not have liked Starbucks, it's all right, but why do people go to Starbucks? What differentiates Starbucks from a coffee day? We'll need a mic to be floating around here. I'm not able to hear. Pardon my age. My hearing has started giving me issues. Give the mic to somebody. Someone wants to answer. Yes.
Yeah, it's a global approach. I mean, Coffee Day is not a global approach, but what I look forward, when we travel, I can't take travel Coffee Day. I have never seen a Coffee Day in traveling.
So access.
Access, and it's a global access.
So for all those customers or for all those coffee drinkers who travel a lot, Starbucks is giving them an easy access. That's what we are saying. Yes?
I mean, it's the same reason why people buy iPhones versus Android. There's a brand value that...
Brand equity,
you become cool by associating with a cool brand.
Badge value. So that is another key thing, because of which many people will enter a Starbucks, carry a Starbucks, those accessories, a mug or something, and come out looking very cool. I'm having Starbucks types, So badge value, that badge value matters. What else? Coffees are different.
Hospitality.
There are lots of variations. So for those who are coffee lovers, the genuine coffee lovers will anyway take the shots. But those who are like, I like coffee, but not the shots, but I want some more variation, sweet and this and that and all that stuff, for those kind of experimental coffee drinkers, it is offering some variations. All right, yes?
And the way they treat you.
They treat you. That's not a part of the product feature. But the way they treat you, they keep they will never ask you to get up and leave. Personalization. They put your name and deliberately they'll put it wrong. Because as Mr. Dale Carnegie says, a person's name to that person is the sweetest sound in any language. So personalization helps. So the minute your name is called, you feel a personal connect. And when it is written wrong, and they pronounce it also a little funnily, it creates a connect with them. So none of these things that you mentioned, access, the hospitality, the personalization, the variations, the the time that you can spend inside a Starbucks, none of these are product features. But you are ready to pay a price for the coffee because to avail all these things. And that should tell you what goes on in a customer's, in a buyer's mind. They're not looking just at buying a product from you. They want you to sell them value. You all have heard of this word called USP? You know what's a USP? What is the full form of USP? Loudly, everyone. Unique selling points. The word in the middle is selling. So this is from whose perspective? The buyer's perspective or the seller's perspective? Sellers. USP is the seller's point of view. That for my product, for my brand, these are the unique selling points. And your buyer is saying, so what do I do? These are your unique selling points. What do I do? How do I care? So till the time when you are presenting your product, when you are talking about your product and you are sharing all the good things that we can do, change the world, bring Mars to you and all those falana dimka, always remember to translate all those USPs into UBP. UBP means unique buying points. That is what your customers want to listen. You've heard, no? This phrase that people say, talk in their language. You heard this phrase? What is the meaning of talking in their language? If they're speaking, I don't know Malayali. If I'm now talking to one of you, I can't speak in your language. But talking in their language means use the words, the sentences, the things that they want to hear. They don't want to hear USP. They want to hear UBP, unique buying points. Tell me why should I buy your product. Just tell me that. I don't care if it's a, this is a one-click button thing. What do I do with a one-click? Translate that into a buying point for me. Then I am interested. That is when I am much more eager to listen to what you're trying to say. So, if we look at closing as a flywheel, because we want to keep closing, we want our revenues to keep coming, so we don't want to block it. We want it to be a very, very smooth ride for us. So if we look at it as a flywheel means what? In our childhood, I don't know how many of you have seen this, but we used to play a game which was like a big wheel, and we used to push it with a stick, and the wheel used to go forward. That's called a flywheel. Now consider your revenue as a flywheel. You want it to move forward, and for it to move forward, you want closing to happen. If closings don't happen, this flywheel is not going to move forward. Your business, that means, is not scaling, and you are struggling in paying salaries and the capex and the opex and all the costs is coming and burdened on you. So if we look at the closing as a flywheel, then it begins from the top, spark, trust. The first thing that helps in closing is in establishing trust with your customer. Without trust, no one buys anything, neither do you. Whenever you go to buy anything, if you don't trust whom? The brand? Before the brand? Before the brand? Who do you trust? The shop before the shop? The salesperson. If the salesperson doesn't come across as trustworthy, no matter how good your brand is, somehow that doubt and skepticism lingers on my mind. I'm not too sure. Yeah, I know I've heard of this brand, but look at this fellow who is trying to sell to me. Somehow it doesn't feel right. So first thing is sparking a trust, which means you have to be relevant to them, talk in their language. That's how we are relevant. You have to give them, you have to build your credibility, establish credibility. You give them some proof of work. That's why for all those who are into tech kind of work, you give a proof of concept. But by proof, it also means social proof. You also need to say how many logos have you worked with, who are the other customers that have trusted you. Because that works very beautifully. If I can talk about stories of how some customer have used our product or services and this is how they have benefited, you know, psychologically it tells them if so many others have trusted them, I can consider them. I may not buy, the stage is still not buy, but I might consider them. Let me hear what they have to say. At least a POC doesn't harm. Are we all on the same page here? Yes? Next we move into diagnosing deeply. Without diagnosing the problem, we get into, you know, many salespeople I have seen, they go, they get a meeting with the CEO, CTO, whosoever is your target audience. They get the meeting, they give their introduction. Sir, ma'am, good morning, good afternoon, I'm so and so, and I've come from this business. And they immediately get into pitching. This is what our business is, this is what we do, this is our thing, this is founded by these 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, and we have been in the business for so long, and this is our, and a lengthy PowerPoint, long number of slides, creating a death by PPT kind of a scenario for the listener, starting initially with some very boring stuff, absolutely irrelevant for that buyer, and then coming to this is what we can do for you, this is how we can solve your problem. Are bhai, have you even understood what is the problem? How is your presentation even featuring a solution when you don't even know what is their specific problem? So first is diagnose it deeply, ask impactful questions, understand the hidden costs and the insights that they are looking to. Remember, it's not just the need, you need to also, when you diagnose deeply, you're also able to figure out the want that they are looking for. After that, you need to communicate value, not USP. Do not use these phrases that these are our USPs. Use the phrase, these are our value propositions for you. Give clear ROI. Everyone wants a tangible ROI. What is it that I'm going to get? How is it going to benefit me in terms of time, cost, quality? These 3 is a tangible ROI. Time, cost, quality. Somehow related to these kind of ROI, give them the metrics and show them a future state. After that, they will still take some time to decide because internal process, I need to talk to my team members, I need to go to the board, we'll have an internal meeting. They're going to evaluate. They can't just, you can't be the only people they will just meet, like, and buy. Now you have dropped an idea into their head. So they will say, there could be many more like them. It's a good idea. How about we explore others? Now they're going to invite your competitors. So you need to de-risk the decision making. Now when we are de-risking it, you're offering them some kind of a pilot or you're giving them some kind of guarantee, or this is where you are bringing in all the case stories. Business cases. How some business has benefited and by utilizing them. And after that, you need to guide them towards saying a yes. A maybe is also fine, but you need to get them from that maybe stage, which is the decision paralysis that they're going through. From that maybe stage, you need to guide them towards yes. And that happens when you offer them 3 options. Usually when we create a proposal, our proposal is only one option. Recommendation is give them 3 options to choose from. You can either go with us, this is what your problem is and this is how we think we can solve your problem or our solution is, and this is what we recommend. You can either go with option A, These are the advantages and these are the risks that you will go with option A. This is the option B that you can go with, and this is the option C that you can go with. Your best recommendation, the one that you want to recommend, that best one that you want them to take, all the three you are recommending. So that means any of the three they take, you are a winner. But the one that you want mostly them to take, keep them as a third option. It's called the law of recency, because that is the last one I've heard, I'll remember that. So keep that as the third option. What happens again psychologically is, the minute you give them three options, they now are not feeling burdened that it's either this or that, or my way or the highway. Now they have something to choose from and they feel empowered. I have been given the authority to choose. So always give them these three options. It makes them to take the decision faster. You will be able to guide them towards a yes faster. Now when we're talking about a flywheel, the ground on which the flywheel runs offers friction. And if you want the wheel to fly, then you need to offer force from the top. Now these are the forces and the frictions for the business owners and the founders. The forces, that is, the things that can drive or motivate, is to create an urgency. Most of the decisions lack because the founder, the owner, the salesperson has not been able to create the urgency in them. And that's why these decision makers, they take forever to decide. And you get tired of the follow-up, and after some time you even give up on the follow-ups. Create an urgency. Always create an urgency. Give a clear and measurable value. Build strong relationship and trust. Be very, very strong with your negotiation skills. Have an internal alignment and have efficient processes. Have lots of social proof. And as an owner, as a founder, be personally involved if you want your business to be scaling. The frictions, that is the obstacles or the challenges that you need to take care of, is do not be emotionally attached with the sale. Do not be emotionally attached. Because if you are emotionally attached, you will approach every business deal with desperation. Because then you will be desperate to close every deal that is coming your way. So don't be emotionally attached. And for that, you need to, therefore, create a very, very strong and healthy funnel. Do your funnel management very well. Sales funnel management. If you do that very well, you will never have to be desperate for a certain deal to happen. And another major friction is that you yourself are unclear about the value proposition. I've been talking to so many founders and I'm asking the same question. What's your value proposition? They're just telling me, this is what we can do, this is how we can do, I'm asking, give me the value proposition. Most of the founders are unclear about their value proposition. If you yourself don't know what is the value proposition, how are you going to communicate it to them? And if you can't communicate, they are not convinced. And now you're not going to get into convincing them that you're good. Then from the buyer side, the friction is that there are always going to be decision-making delays. There could be lack of trust and brand reputation. If you have not worked on building your reputation, then price objections and budget constraints are always, it's a part of our job. Then many people give up on the follow-up. Most of the salespeople kind of follow up for 3 or 4 times. After 4th follow-up, people give up. They move on to the next one. And statistics say that usually a buyer responds any time after the 6th follow-up. A buyer will respond to you. So never give up on your follow-ups. Sort out your internal processes, and if there is a resistance to change from the buyer side, figure out where is that resistance or why is that resistance. And that is how you will be able to close your deals. I'm not going to take this. I have many more things to show, but I feel that it will be better if I can take some questions from you instead for all the time that I have left. And before they shove me off the stage, I would love to take a few questions from all of you. Any questions? Yes. Previous slide. This one.
Can you give a good example how it works out? Example.
Example. All right. What is your business?
Mine is a surgical consumable.
Use the mic.
Surgical consumable distribution.
Surgical.
Consumables.
Surgical consumables.
Yes.
And you are selling to the hospitals,
Hospitals and clinics and all.
clinics and all.
Yeah.
So you're not the only one who is selling surgical consumables.
lot of
right?
other people.
Lot of other people are doing. So the question now is, why should your hospitals and the clinics buy from you?
Because we have a wider network.
You have a wider network. What else? And why that wider network helps them?
We are accessible. Accessible.
The hospital is only, suppose in Thiruvananthapuram, what your wider network will do to that
No,
hospital?
It's not about random. Our team is approachable. No?
From where? The hospital will go somewhere? Hospital doesn't move anywhere.
So we will go to them. No?
So that's what I'm saying. How does the wide? So now you are understanding the confusion here. Your first value proposition you're giving me is wider network. And you are dealing with a local hospital. The question is, how does a local hospital get value from a wider network? That is the first value proposition that came to your head. Wider network. There is a clinic, there is a pharmacy selling surgical consumables from this area, Kovalam. And the first value proposition, if you are going to say that I have wider network, how does that help? This is talking their language. How does that help? This is where the trust is not happening, because I am communicating something that is not relevant for them. How can that be the first thing that I'm saying? So I have to first build that trust. Now I need to diagnose deeply in terms of, there are many others who are giving surgical things. What is it that they're looking for? Mostly the retailers, the pharmacies would be saying that I just need money. Give me a low margin product, that's all. Help me make money. And now you have to figure out what is it that the hospital will be looking for. Hospital, apart from cost saving, the most important thing for them would be probably the thing that they value more is their reputation. One small glitch and the family starts beating all the doctors and vandalizes the entire hospital. So the reputation is very important. Figure out, is there a link? What is it? That's how we are diagnosing. There is a difference between need and a want. And then you have to communicate the value. The value then for that hospital, who is a local hospital, is not wider network. That's a feature of your product. Okay. But we are talking about that. We are not going to talk about my feature. I'm going to communicate in terms of value that I can bring to them. Okay? And then the rest of the things can happen once you bid. But the mistake is happening in the initial stage itself. And that is why so many objections, that is why we face like, oh, I'll think about it, oh, we need to discuss it internally. These things shouldn't happen ideally. I have a need, you understood my need, you gave me a brilliant and most relevant presentation that is satisfying my need. Take the money, give me the product, that's it. Now what is it to think about? I'll think about what? Tell me now, what are you going to think about? That means there are still some doubts in your head. That's why you're saying, I'll think about it. Help me understand and let me clarify. Any other question? Yes.
So I'm the founder of a social network platform, and we sell white label licenses to other businesses that need that, where they have a large community. And I come from an engineering background. I don't have any sales experience, and frankly, it scares me. But I'm trying to work with professional salespeople in my team. And I saw a point in your next slide saying that founder involvement was one of the points. And I'm trying to understand, if I have professional salespeople who do not have to be coached on these things, they understand these things from experience.
Yeah.
It saves me the time, but how do I get involved to?
Yes. Founders' involvement in running the sales. This is the mistake, again, many founders do, because most of the founders come from a technical background. By technical, I don't mean just IT. It could be manufacturing. It could be anything. but they come from a very technical background. And to make their job easy is why they hire professional salespeople. Now, the first mistake, you don't know how to take an interview because you've not done sales. So, there's a salesperson, because they're a salesperson, sitting there, I am great. And you look at them, personality shining, communication, wow. And I've done this business, that business, I've closed this deal, that deal, falana, din, hired. Next, we realize, what happened? I thought this person said that I am an excellent, I'm a rock star salesperson. How come this person is not performing? Now, the mistake is not the person, the mistake is you have not done sales, you don't know how to ask the right kind of questions, you did not see whether this person is a right fit for you. First mistake there. That is the founder's involvement, number one. You need to hire the right fit. If you want to focus your energies into those aspects of the business where you are required truly. Second thing, a salesperson, you leave it on them, they will do it their way. Now, someone needs to monitor, someone needs to track, there has to be a proper sales architecture created within the organization where tracking, monitoring, talent management, talent growth, everything has to be taken into consideration. That is where, again, the founder's involvement is required. You can't just leave them on their own. You should understand the huddles that we have, weekly huddles, what kind of questions I need to ask in my weekly huddles that is going to encourage them, that is going to develop ownership and empowerment in them, that is going to make them work better. And how do I treat myself and how do I present myself as a leader so that they don't start taking me for granted, Arey, isko to kuch aata nahi, he doesn't know sales. Whatever we are going to tell them is going to anyway believe me. Don't fall into the trap. So again, some bit of understanding, some bit of knowing how this piece works is very, very important. The best thing that you can do as a founder is have a sales head. Don't just have just the team without a sales head. If you don't have a sales head, then get some consultant or an advisor who can operate and run these salespeople and drive them to that kind of a revenue while in the process coaching you, mentoring you how to monitor this team and how to get the job done. And also at times the founder's job is to track the CRM. That's your playbook, the CRM. Without the CRM, you're helpless. You don't have data of the customer without CRM. And without CRM, you're not able to do analytics. And if you can't analyze your customer, how are you going to customize the rest of the value propositions that are in pipeline that you want to bring? MVP 2, MVP 3, you are going to bring a lot of these value propositions. How are you going to customize them if you don't have the data? CRM is your tool. All the founders who don't have a CRM, invest in a good CRM. And go through that CRM data, identify the pipeline and the leakages in the pipeline. Your CRM is the funnel. It's going to tell you where are the opportunities going lost. And that is the founder's job. You have to be involved in tracking, analyzing, understanding that these are the type of customers that most of my salespeople, when it came to this segment of customers, most of the opportunity lost is from this segment. Is this a wrong segment? Why am I chasing this segment then? Should I relook at my customer segment? It's going to give you a chance to go back to the drawing board. So that is where, again, the founder's involvement is required. And many other places.
Just to follow up,
Yes.
you know, one of the things that I've been thinking about is if I incentivize this guy's role, saying that, like, you know, if you drive these with the right bonuses and the right commission rates, he's going to take care of it because that defines his incentive in the organization, right? Wouldn't that?
It's a wrong, it's a myth that money solves all the problem. It's a myth that money is a motivator. It doesn't work that way. I come from a sales background. Money is not a motivator. Just because you're incentivizing me, if that is the case, then keep someone who is fully on incentive, no fixed salary. And then you see the motivation. Then you will see. They will work with full ownership because that's the only source of income for them. But the minute you are negotiating with them and they are saying, oh, I will take 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh salary per month, plus I'm going to, that incentive is just going into savings, man. That is not my motivator. So don't be under that myth that just because I'm giving them incentives, so it should work. Are we done? Okay. Any more questions that you have? I am here. I'm here tomorrow as well. I will be here around for some more time. You can find me, you can pull me out. I have figured out a spot under one of these umbrellas as my meeting point. So whosoever wants to talk to me, I'm taking them there at that spot, and I'm saying, let's have a discussion there. So you can pull me to that spot and ask me all your questions, shoot away. And thank you very much. I'm just going to show my last slide, which is my LinkedIn. It's very important that you connect with me on LinkedIn, because without that, we will not be connected. So this is my LinkedIn QR code. Please, I would be very, very honored to have you in my network. This is my firm, thesuccessvitamin.com. Please browse through. Most of the solutions or the problems that we have, I believe we solve those problems. This is called a subtle way of selling your services. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much.